back. I hope you've had a great week. Good to have you back. Yes, I am trying to make sure 2024 is the year I stay disciplined. So I am really trying, by the way. Anyway, I have been thinking about doing my master's. And in the process of thinking about it, I thought it could actually be something to talk about here. Now, I'm only bringing it here because I would love to hear people's opinion about this topic. Now, like I say, I always like telling people what has worked for me, and that is where this thought came from. So today's topic has worked for me, and I would love to hear what has worked for other people and what other people think about the same topic. So the question for today is, at what point should you really do your master's after graduating? Now, this is for teachers. Please, if you're a doctor, I don't know at what point. Again, because I'm speaking from experience and things that have worked for me. If you're an engineer, I honestly don't know at what point, but because I'm a teacher, from my experience, I can share the point I think you should be ready for your master's, or you should do your master's. Now, I am always against doing your master's immediately after your undergraduate degree. This is not just for teaching. To me, it's for all courses. Again, my opinion. I have to insist on that. So I am so much against doing your master's immediately after your degree. Now, I'll switch now specifically to education, because I think at that point, you are not exposed enough to know what the market needs and for you to specialize in what the market needs. Now, short story about me. I finished my campus in almost 10 years ago, by the way. Well, not 10, but almost 10 years ago. And everyone had told me, and I know this is very common, especially in Kenya, everyone tells you now you have to do your master's because you have the time and the little money you're making. You cannot channel. By the way, very few people have their parents sponsor them for masters. A lot of us sponsor ourselves for master's degrees. Like once you've done your undergraduate, the parents are like, we've done our part. The rest, if you want to advance, up to you. So yeah, my parents are like, now the next thing is think about your master's as soon as possible before you start up a family. And you have no time for that. By the till today, almost 10 years later, I don't have a family. So maybe I should have done my master's. Maybe that was the easiest way to get a family. I don't know, just thinking. Anyway, they told me, yeah, you should do your master's immediately after, because again, you have the time and you have resources, like you have money. If you get a good job, then you can channel your money to just your master's and you invest in yourself for growth, which kind of made a lot of sense at that point. But then after joining the work market, I remember 2 years down, I still wanted to do my master's, and I explored some master's options in Kenya, especially. I wasn't that much exposed, so I explored some master's option in Kenya, and we had very general options like Masters in Education Administration, Masters in Education Management, Masters in Philosophy of Education. And all these things did not resonate with what I wanted. Back then, I wanted to do something specific. Like back then, I wanted to do something to deal with child psychology or psychology in school-going children, or something that made sense to me at that point in relation to whatever I was doing. So I didn't get any of that. And what did I do? I thought, I'm not doing my master's. I'm going to channel my resources and the time to doing my PGCE, which I did. Now, it may not be a good option for people because it's quite pricey. But I thought, if I was willing to pay for master's, let me push it a bit and see if I can do my PGCE, which I did. And honestly, that paper gave me a lot of exposure. Of course, the university you do it will tell you it has master's credits, it has what. But what I really wanted from it was the exposure in understanding what I was doing. I was already in the international school setup, so I needed to understand why we do things the way we do. And honestly, that postgraduate certificate opened my eyes to so many things. We were differentiating, and I remember my first school, it was just papers, worksheets. We print different worksheets and we gave the children. No one really told you why. No one told you why this child cannot do this worksheet and this one should do this. I mean, but doing that, it kind of makes sense that, oh, it's differentiating, and that's not the only way we can do this. There's so many other ways you can do the differentiating, and there's a reason why you need to do that, why you need to incorporate that in your teaching. And then there was what do you call it? I've forgotten the words, where you just model everything, especially if you're teaching the young ones. You model everything and then they kind of imitate what you're doing. And with time, you pull things away, like you stop doing the steps, you pull out some of the steps. I mean, if you're a teacher, you understand what I'm trying to say. So you start with a full chicken, and then tomorrow you give them a chicken without the legs. The other day you give them a chicken without the... That's a very horrible illustration, by the way, but you get what I'm trying to say. I mean, all these things now kind of started making sense, and they kind of made me a better teacher. They kind of now give me some confidence. Planning, how do you plan? My first school, they were just using a textbook to just derive lessons from there and put them in the book. And I remember my first, it's funny. The first time I was called by one of the head of academics, and I wouldn't mention the school, but they were like, you want to become a teacher? I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. By the way, everything I saw people doing looked so easy. So I was like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. And they were like, how will you plan a lesson? Like, do I need to plan? There's a textbook. I just take the lesson, go teach it. She looked at me. She was shocked. And I'm sure in her mind, she was like, is that what people are doing, or is this one crazy? It was funny. It was funny. I mean, if I ever get a chance to talk to her again, I'll tell her, by the way, that was very ignorant of me. Anyway, doing this course just enabled me to see so many aspects of, to understand so many aspects of whatever was going on in my environment that I didn't quite understand why we were doing them before. So for me, this was a perfect course in that moment. And then now there's still the question of my master's. So I finished my PGCE, and by the way, at some point I thought it was never gonna work for me, because come on, it took so long for me. I mean, to get a promotion, anyway, now it's working for me, by the way. Now it is. I won't share how, but it is really, really working for me, and I don't regret it. Although at some point I almost did. Anyway, now I've been thinking about going back to the masters. I still have the time after all. Got the joke. Yeah, I've been thinking about going back to the masters, and I found myself thinking, like, when was the best time? Was it then or now? And in my opinion, now is a good time for me. And this is now what I wanted to share with everyone, that your masters should come after you've had a feel of the job market. You know what the job market wants. You know where to specialize. Now, right now, if I go back to Kenya, have most of the schools diversified their master's programs? No. But does that mean I cannot do what I want? No. These options of what I'm looking for are out here in other universities. They may be damn expensive, but they're out here. People are doing them. Universities have realized the importance of this and have made them available. So right now, I can go back to the drawing board, work around my time, work around my finances, and see if I can get exactly what I wanted. If I can specialize, if I can narrow down the education administration to just a branch of the administration that I feel might really be relevant for me 10 years from now. What I'm trying to say is, what I strongly believe, my opinion, and what I advise people to do is, don't graduate, then do your masters, especially as a teacher. Graduate, get into the school setup, have a feel of how things have run. If you're not sure, do short courses, like feed yourself so much information, get to exactly understand how things work, and then you'll be able to see gaps. in the education sector, or not necessarily gaps. You'll be able to see how you can make yourself better, more useful. Like right now, everyone is a homeroom teacher, but what makes one homeroom teacher stand out from the other homeroom teacher? I don't know. That's what you find out when you get into the job market. And then now you can do your master's based on that. You're a homeroom teacher. Do you want to become a class teacher for the rest of your life? No. What am I aiming for eventually? After being here for this long, I've seen how people work. I've seen the different jobs that people do. Which of these jobs would I really want to do eventually? I mean, you're getting my point. Like, have a feel of the market, have a feel of the system, notice those gaps, and then now go and draw for your masters when you know exactly where you want to place yourself. Again, this is my personal opinion on this. I would have loved to do a podcast on this and just hear people's different opinions. Sadly, not today. But in the future, I would love, like, if you would like to do a podcast with me on this one, just reach out. Let me know, and we can see. I mean, now we have technology. We can see how we can make this work, because I'm sure there's a way we can do it, even if we are worlds apart. But yeah, I just thought to share that. And if you think otherwise, you've tried something else that has worked for you, as always, I'm open to this comments and different sharings and all these things that you think might help someone out there. I do this thing because I want to help. I want to help someone out there. I may not be able to sit them down and talk them through the process, but doing a video like this one gives someone some insights about something teaching wise. So yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah. Okay, it was really nice having you. This was a very short one, and I'm happy it was very short. I hope to see you again next week. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. Let me know what you think about this topic. Let me know if you have something different. Let me know what master's options people can do at this point. And I'll really appreciate any kind of feedback that I get. Again, thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. God bless.